The MCHOSE Ace68 HE is a budget gaming keyboard clearly inspired by a large Dutch keyboard brand. The similarities between the Wooting 60HE and the Ace68 are undeniable, but before we get too much into the differences, let me tell you what comes in the box first. Surprisingly, for a keyboard that ranges between $50 and $80 US, we get a pretty decent box. Inside the box, we're going to find a USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable, a keycap switch polar combo tool, extra keyboard switches with the most outrageous tongue-in-cheek name, a Wooting, I mean a Young's Choice keyboard strap, perfect for carrying this thing out of your mother's basement once she finds out you've been shopping on AliExpress again, and the Ace68 HE keyboard. Off the bat, I can tell you this keyboard definitely feels and sounds like a budget end product. The case design almost entirely mimics the 60HE's chassis with the little lip with branding, strap placement, and USB-C placement. If you've watched this channel before, you know I like it when brands take chances on original designs instead of reproducing something that's already been done, so I'm definitely knocking points for the unoriginality of this board. Build quality wise, it's pretty rigid with almost zero flex being present in the board. This is likely due to the tray mount construction method used to build the board along with the aluminum alloy top plate. That means it's going to be incredibly stiff and durable, but you're going to pay for that with some sound quality loss. More on that in a little bit. Last but not least, we do get adjustable feet, giving us 3 different typing angles that complement the OEM typing profile pretty well. It isn't listed anywhere that it's OEM, but comparing it online, I think it looks pretty similar. There are a few different flavors of keycaps when it comes to this board. The ones we're looking at today have the topography set pre-installed. These appear to be double shot PBT keycaps, but again, there's nothing really online, so this is my best guess. They're incredibly smooth, but if you press the right way, you can kind of feel the mask for where the topography lines are on the keycap. The other more budget versions of this board come with keycaps without any shine through. In fact, the most budget version of this board I could find on AliExpress for a surprising $37 US doesn't even have an RGB backlight. On this version, we do get south-facing RGB LEDs, but again, for this being a budget board, I'm not overly impressed with the RGB performance. On camera, you can almost always tell which keyboards use budget LEDs. Usually, they'll use LEDs with low refresh rates, so what ends up happening is you get this kind of weird rolling shutter effect with the LEDs, which looks like a flicker. It doesn't flicker in real life, but it isn't particularly bright, and that's the effect you get.
Uranus.
You heard me right. The switches used in this board are the TTC Uranus magnetic switches. I have no clue what possessed the dude naming these to go with that name, but here we are. There are a few different types of switches you can get for this board, but this is what my board came with, so let me tell you about Uranus. These are closed Hall effect hot swappable switches with an actuation range from 0.1mm to 3.4mm. They require a medium amount of force to actuate, clocking in at 35 gram force. They don't list that they're pre-lubed, and to tell you the truth, they don't really feel pre-lubed. I had to open up a switch just to confirm. So you may want to lube up Uranus switches if you get this board. I'm gonna call them Uranus from here on out. You can fully customize the switches through the web software, and honestly, I'm impressed with how much you're getting for spending under $100. You can create different user profiles, update firmware, set custom actuation points, enable rapid trigger, and all the other advanced keystrokes. Calibrate the switches, enable SOCD, and Rappy Snappy, which I think may be a direct copy of Wooting. And lastly, and probably the most important, there's full RGB customization for all you unicorn vomit loving apes out there. You're getting a lot with the Ace68 HE, but one of the areas that was a bit of a letdown for me is the warranty. MCHOSE offers only a 1-year warranty for all their products. It's not the best out there, but I guess considering that this is a budget board, I'm happy we're getting anything at all. For gaming, I feel like the Ace68 can easily keep up with competitors selling their boards for twice the cost. Of course, you're giving up some quality of life features that aren't deal breaking when it comes to gaming though. To me, this includes the quality of the LEDs, the tray mount, my least favorite type of keyboard PCB mount, the plate mounted stabs, underlube switches, and plasticky feel. It performs great for gaming, but you could say the Ace68 was inspired by a tried and true board on the market by a brand that's dedicated to innovating. And really, that's my biggest gripe. Even though this is a fantastic budget option board that really checks off the boxes for features, it's really built off the backs of what Wooting already accomplished, and it isn't really bringing anything new to the table. So there isn't much of a difference between the 68HE and the Ace68HE other than Wooting opting to use higher quality components that place it more in a premium range. But that being said, for 80 United States dollars, it's really hard to complain. I think you're getting the most features out of any HE board out there for an incredibly affordable low price, and that's nothing to scoff at. Oh, and some of you are probably wondering what the Young's Choice means on the strap, and I think this is just the company's slogan. I think it's supposed to mean that this is a young person's pick or something like that, but it's just a tagline. Very similar to Gravistar's Be Cool, Play It, but really no different than Have It Your Way or Eat Fresh. Let's wrap this up with a sound test. Leave a comment and let me know how you think it sounds, and while you're there, click the sub button. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and until next time, GG. Uranus, 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 Uranus.